Oh, howdy, Delco. We've got a nice little episode for you where we're going to talk about our favorite topic that isn't Delco. We're going to talk about meats. We have a great guest with us, and your name is
Esther Taylor.
Esther Taylor. And are you from Delco?
I'm not originally from Delco, but I've been here about 15 years.
Where are you originally from?
So I'm originally grew up in the Northwest in Oregon.
Oh, I thought when you said Northwest, I was thinking like North Wales or Manayunk.
No, like
Okay.
totally a different hemisphere.
So you pronounce it Oregon?
Guys. I have always pronounced it Oregon.
Is there a dispute over there of how it's pronounced, Oregon?
I think it's like everyone in Oregon, like home base is Oregon,
Okay.
and everywhere else it's like no, it's Oregon.
Oh God, that's just all sorts of wrong.
Oregon, and like that sounds a little weird, but when I moved here, there's also like a full on like Delcoanese language here.
We talk around out here.
So it's kind of the same thing. If you're not from there,
I couldn't think about going down south. I think it's some Oregon steaks.
Oregon, yeah.
Do you call it oregano, the spice?
No, that is. I think we say it regular, like oregano.
So then it would technically be, oh God, would the state be Oregon?
Oregon? Yeah. I guess in terms of spices.
That's always my argument.
Spice states, yes.
That's always my argument about is it radiator or radiator? Like what radiates heat doesn't radiate it.
Yeah, so like that the first time I ever heard it called radiator was here.
Okay.
Yeah.
We talk wrong out here.
Well, I don't know if it's wrong. I just think it's like your home-based language. And like actually my daughter was born here. So like she is very Delco accent. She says the words that you guys
water.
You get water. She thinks that I speak weird.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, I've been in the U.S. my whole life, so I speak perfect English. But she thinks that I'm like a
through 2 minutes you have spoken very well compared to most of our guests. Yeah.
I try to just speak regular English.
If so, E-Tay, right? The alien.
I do. I've been called that many times.
When he was calling to his home planet, what did he say?
Oh, I don't know.
E.T. blank blank.
E.T. phone home.
Yeah, see, that's how you're supposed to pronounce it. Out here, we say E.T. phone home.
Oh, phone home. Yeah. And creek and crick and
Well, it is a crick.
See, well, you guys, this is what you guys do. You demand that like the way that you like to say it is the right way.
It depends on what the body of water is. So it's Ridley Creek, but it's Darby Creek.
Okay, so you're saying crick is like just like a little stream then, like a little, and then like
creek it's the Darby one.
Oh, okay, Darby.
And the Ridley one is the creek.
Okay.
And then we don't have any other ones to compare to. But it's basically we just pick and choose what bodies of water are called.
I'm still learning.
Like our reservoir is not actually reserved for anything. It's just a lake.
Right, now that I did learn.
And it feeds into the Darby Creek and the Ridley Creek.
Okay, well, so that's a tongue twister.
It is. You get used to it after years of being berated by inner Delconess. So you came here from
Oregano, yes.
And you set up camp where in Delco?
I actually first was in Havertown.
Fancy.
And that's where my daughter was, born, and she goes to school there, Haverford Middle School.
Fancy. Now. Home of the Fords.
Yes, home of the Fords. It's actually a great school district.
Absolutely.
So shout out to them.
They're much better than us.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, they are. They are. I envy them.
So and then I just moved a couple years ago. I moved over to Broomall, which is hot skip.
Yeah. And you make charcuterie boards.
I make and create charcuterie boards along with my partner and really good friend Fong. So we do. We just started a business a little less than a year ago.
Did you get into charcuterie boards because of the pandemic?
No.
Oh, because a lot of people pick that up as a hobby.
So, okay, let me just say real quick. I'll try not to draw it out.
No, you can draw it out.
When I've always done like hosting.
Yeah.
And I've loved just, having people over. Every celebration that you have, it's always centered around food. And, themes of food. And so even like, honestly, like 15, 20 years ago, before I even knew what a charcuterie or a charcuterie board braised spread was, I was just throwing shit on a board. It's like I like knew what I was doing, but I didn't.
Yeah.
And like that would be my like special thing that I would bring to parties or that I would have at my house. And then over the pandemic, all of a sudden, charcuterie and boards and
Became
spreads and
the
glazes
hot commodity.
literally blew up.
Yeah.
And so,
It was the soda bread of meats.
yes, and it was, and all of a sudden you went from like, okay, yeah, you take a board, you take a bunch of meats and cheeses, and you throw it on there, and you make it look pretty. Okay,
Yeah.
you might throw a flower or two on there. Then over the pandemic, which was what, 2.5, 3 years,
Yeah.
I think people were so bored that all these just brilliant, and I'm talking like millions of just brilliant ideas came, and all the information is out there, all the content and things that you can do and ways to make it. I mean, and there's a million different ways. It's like a palette, and you can just make it however you want. And that's what's really interesting to me. But it was so interesting that like over COVID, it really became a thing. And I already like kind of enjoyed doing it without even knowing kind of what I was doing or.
Do you think, because I mean, you were saying you were getting it beforehand and it was growing before the pandemic. Do you think the whole like keto kind of fad played into it too?
Yeah, the good thing about it is you can basically customize it to any diet
Yeah.
or any food or any like lifestyle that you live. So we do vegan, we can do keto, we can do fruits and
How do
vegetables,
you do a vegan thing that involves meat and cheese?
vegan meats,
Vegan meats,
vegan cheese.
tofurkey,
Yeah, vegan
seitan.
cheeses. They have everything now. I mean, that order is very rare because I feel like the charcuterie society does not it does not
The
include a
Council of
lot of
Charcuterie.
vegans,
Yeah.
right?
It
So
seems like they're against the basic tenets of charcuterie.
correct. So it's not like we get a lot of, hey, can you do a vegan? I mean, I have had it like once or twice, but more like what is the other thing where everyone's scared of? I'm losing
Clowns.
it. Yeah, clowns. But gluten.
Gluten.
Which, yeah.
Is there a gluten-free charcuterie board?
Well, people request gluten free. So
And what
yeah.
can you sell then? Air.
We just always like do custom. So we will just go to Whole Foods or wherever
Okay.
and pick out things that are conducive to
So
what they want on their board.
that's where you get your product from?
No,
Oh.
that's like a special order.
Okay.
No, we do get a lot of products from Whole Foods every now and then, but we basically do wholesale products. So Costco,
Sure. Restaurant Depot?
Home Depot.
No, Restaurant
Oh
Depot.
no, not Restaurant Depot. We
Not
use
yet.
Webstaurant online for like a lot of
Ooh.
our supplies and stuff.
Okay.
And then we actually use Hobby Lobby right up the road a lot. They have that store is like a mall for like creators, like
Okay.
crafters and creators and content makers
And perverts that want to buy drones.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just try to like time it where you don't go when the drone pervs go. So
Coin that phrase, Al.
yeah.
Drone perps.
Drone pervs. But yeah,
So right after, so you said about it was 2.5 years ago you started doing this?
No, we started less than a year ago.
Less than 1 year
So
ago.
April 15th will be our first 1 year
Tax Day.
anniversary. Yeah.
Jackie Robinson Day. The day the Titanic sank.
Yes.
The day Abe Lincoln died.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's my mother's
Oh,
the things that
nice.
happened. Okay, so you came up with it about, April 15th is the anniversary.
Yeah.
How did you so you said you hosted many times before. Do you ever do that professionally or was it just, in your own home?
No, not professionally. So I actually I have played professional poker for almost 20 years.
Oh, you should leave the interview with that. That's entertaining as hell.
And I just figured you did your research.
It's not on the Instagram.
It's not on that one. Yeah, you're right. So yeah, so I and I still do that. That's my full-time job. Part-time, full-time job, I guess I would say.
Okay.
And but with that comes a lot of downtime.
Yeah.
And a lot of hours that you just find yourself not being that productive and like, so I just kind of came like to the point where I was like, there's so many hours in the day. And when I play poker, it's a lot of times in like 2 to 3 day increments.
Yeah.
And then, I have like 3 days off or whatever. And what am I doing? Especially during COVID, I kind of got into some like, not bad, but like bad habits of doing nothing but drinking and golfing and drinking and
These don't sound that bad
golfing.
habits.
They're not that bad. They're
Like,
not that bad, but like, you
you live in
over the
Delco.
course of like, 3 years straight, I'm like, okay, well, I gotta add something that I'm a little bit more passionate about that's productive, not only to like myself, but the community.
Yeah,
And poker, and I've been playing it so long, is just like the environment is a little bit it errs a little bit more on the toxic side it can be, and because you're always trying to take.
sure, yeah.
And so either, just to be balanced a little more, I've always tried to kind of like incorporate like other things into my life where
Yeah.
make sure I'm giving back and make sure being involved in the community. And really, I just want to show my daughter. And my business partner, Fong, she has kids too. She has 2 daughters and a son, and she works
She's local too?
in the industry as well. She deals for like high stakes poker games. That's
Oh,
how we
wow.
met. And
And like AC or like Paris or
private games. Yeah.
private games.
Yeah.
Ooh, how risque. Some
I've-
James Bond shit right
yeah,
there.
yeah. So like, we both kind of have the same vision of um, poker is poker, and like, we grind and do all that stuff, but
Sure.
we also wanted to do something that we're passionate about, that is fun for us. And really what's great about it is we are really seeing ourselves just in a year, like really plug into the community and find
Yeah.
ways to give back, be involved, show like a woman minority owned business, small business. And so,
now.
yeah, so that's really, we're on the right path, and I'm really excited about that.
Your social media game is stellar.
Thank you.
It's
Fong
stellar.
does a lot of that. She's very good. She's very, very creative.
You guys do a very good balance of, like you said before we went on the air, like, sharing other things that apply to your industry that you're in, and also showing your product, and
Right.
also showing what you do. Like I saw a lot of different fundraisers you were part of.
Yes.
Can you tell us about any of them?
Yeah. So when her and I sat down, we sat down for a few weeks, and really we're just kind of discussing like what we wanted to do, what our vision was, what our short term goals, long term goals. But we both definitely agreed that because we are in an industry that is very vulturous like and selfish, we definitely wanted to make charity like the number one priority.
And you're talking about the poker industry.
I'm talking about
Okay,
the
you're not
poker
talking about
industry.
like cutthroat charcuterie kind of stuff.
No,
You put the cut in
there's
charcuterie.
plenty for everybody in charcuterie. Like,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, I'm talking about poker, but yeah, so we just like both had the same vision of we want to give back, especially to the community. So we started off like our whole business was okay, no matter what, we're gonna do 10% of profits. And this was
Oh,
actually
wow.
her idea because our name is Choice Charcuterie.
Yeah.
So 10% profits to a charity of your choice.
When the person who buys it.
Yes.
Okay.
So there's small orders, there's big orders, there's corporate orders, and we always just email or text, thank you for your order, and then we let them know then and there. We tell them after. A big part of it, us is giving back, and we want to give 10% to a charity of your choice. Do you have a charity that you love?
Yeah.
Everybody responds with a charity.
That's awesome.
And if they don't, there has been like a few times more corporate customers,
because they had to pick and choose what they can
yeah, they're just like you choose. And so we do have like I don't want to say favorite charities, but
your go-tos.
Our go-tos are the Kevin Kane Memorial Fund.
Who's that?
I think they're Delco, and they just raise money for and I'm being put on the spot here, but they do a lot of fundraising and giving back for like a lot of things.
Okay.
And also a big one for us personally is breast cancer awareness.
Sure.
So a lot of our close friends, we're turning into like our 40s and that time. So a lot of our friends, have been in and out battling breast cancer, and just that's personal to us. So we do a lot of stuff for that. And we just like plug in. A lot of our good friends are really well rooted in the community too. And they have the same like passion and vision for us. So we kind of are like this like I want to say like tribe of like small business women, like go-getters.
Sure.
And my friend Erica, who is a real estate agent.
Of course.
for
Of course,
Keller Williams main line. But
you
she's
mentioned 3 people, so of course one of them was going to be a
of
real estate
course.
agent.
And she has a successful real estate I want to call it an empire, but she is just somebody who has the same vision. She is somebody who gives back,
Sure.
always looking for ways to put on events or do things to raise money. And so she is actually, I wanted to mention that she actually has like a spring soiree May 4th, and it's in Havertown, and that's where we're going to launch our choice spreads that we're making. Can you see this or no?
Just hold it.
Ah, yeah. Oh.
So you were in, as you call it, the spread factory.
I was in the spread lab.
It's the spread lab, not to be confused with the one place next to Oasis on Essington Avenue.
Yeah, no. This
one involves fruits and vegetables.
This is the lab, aka my kitchen.
Excellent.
In Broomall? In Broomall. So yeah, we're going
Look at how fancy they are. Like a Greek halo.
We are Fong and I love to cook in general.
Good grammar there, by the way.
And so we are really excited for this because every charcuterie that we do, one of the biggest things that needs to be on it is spreads, jams, jellies, honey, and we're like, I feel like we could make our own,
and like the middleman and spice it up
like
yourself.
What grandma did not make, like, I think they called it preserves, but it's like all the same shit, right?
Yeah.
So like what grandma didn't make, so my grandma like grew up, she like canned and jams, jellies, preserves, and I was like, I think we can do it. And so we've been testing out. It's actually not that hard, but we are very meticulous. So we want to like really have it, down, and they're going to be homemade, organic, and fresh, and all different flavors. So we're excited to be there. And so anyone in Delaware County is invited.
Northern Liberties community.
And the details are on our Instagram.
This is the May 4th.
This is May 4th. But like that day is like really big for us because that's like our launch.
May the 4th be with you.
May the 4th be with the spreads.
Wait, where's it at in Havertown?
It's like at a huge property. So yeah, the details. It's like.
Is it the $1 million house that's up for sale on Broomall?
No. Which just put. If you're watching this, just put your house up for $990. Good God, like, what are you doing?
I love it. I love it.
So
you guys got into making your own preserves.
Yes.
And they're gonna be spreads.
So we have a few more weeks because we have about like a little over a month to like really perfect. And so we want to start doing like fig jam and all these like pepper jelly and all these like cool things. And we're in the kitchen. That sounds a little chauvinist, but we are in the kitchen a lot. So stirring a little spread, and I envision myself with all those like lab tube test tube bottle things with like the bubbles flowing out. But that's what we're kind of up to.
What's the most common order you get? Like, what's the most popular one?
Choice Charcuterie. Our common order is like a medium or a large.
Okay. And what does that consist of?
It consists of like, I don't know, 3 to 4 meats.
Oh, you get to choose?
6. People don't really like choose, but if they want to choose, they can. If they're like today, I got an order. She's like, just the regular stuff: meat, cheese, fruit, and mustard. I'm like, mustard? Okay, like, sure. Yeah. Like we don't really think of mustard, but actually,
really, that's the first spread I think about.
Okay, so see, like, and then I thought about it. I was like, I love mustard, first of all, and
a little spicy mustard.
So I thought about it. I was like, why haven't I thought about mustard? Like, what is wrong with me? But that's like a specific request because our normal spreads are like fruit spreads, fig spread, jam, honey. Yeah. So, I don't really think of mustard, but mustard actually is brilliant because like with the meat and cheese, So
yeah, growing up, I mean, up until like moments ago, I thought mustard was the main thing that went for charcuterie.
Yeah, I mean, like, so this is like a glorified charcuterie business now is like a glorified charcuterie. Like your basic charcuterie board is literally meat. Right? It's just meat and then like mustard and like what you're saying.
Yeah.
But now that it's all like glorified and pumped up and whatever, now it's like, oh no, charcuterie means meat, cheese, fruit, nuts, chocolate, your great aunt, your great grandma, like it's just like you can just throw anything on there.
Bastardized it from classic charcuterie.
Yeah. So yeah,
like will society learn?
You can just
because they could didn't mean they should.
Yes. So yeah. So yeah, and then we'll do the boards, but we really
get to keep the boards.
So we usually do disposables. They're good quality. Nobody wants to keep the board. You just throw it out. But
what's the biggest order you ever had?
We've done corporate orders. So we've done big grazing tables. So we this whole table would be covered in charcuterie. Right. So those are really big orders and very expensive because obviously it takes a ton of time.
Yeah.
And we're not just we're not just people think this, okay, you take it out of the bags and you throw it on the table. No. Every row, every pile, every little tiny thing is so detailed. And especially my business partner really keeps me in check. And she's like, no, you need to, and I'm like, whatever, but it's good because she's like, no, and we want to make a good product. Sure. We want to represent a good product. You got to represent the brand. Yeah. So it's a lot. It's when somebody orders like that, and that is really actually where we want to head to. So we just ran our first board making class at the yard.
Yes. The yard I have been to the yard when it was Tip O'Leary's and Tip O'Leary's.
So now a new owner took over, and I kind of know her. Our kids go to school together.
They have extremely nice bathrooms.
They do, and they have a big yard actually.
They do.
It's very useful.
They every Black Friday we do a bar crawl up and down Westchester Pike, rank bars by their bathroom.
And by their bathrooms? Mm-hmm. Wow. Yep. Nobody gets a good ranking
on Westchester Pike. There are some surprise bars that have great bathrooms. Obviously, Yard went out of their way and got really cutting those nice bathrooms.
Oh, because of that?
I'm going to assume so, not because they bought it. I
actually think so.
I don't think they even know who we are.
Yeah.
Unless they're just like, oh God, those guys who come by every year and review us on Yelp about our bathrooms are back. I do love that place though.
Yeah. So we went in and we talked with the owner and we're like, look, we have this vision. And this is really where we want to head eventually. But we have this vision for and the easiest way to explain it is painting with a twist. But you make your own board, which was literally just like this. Okay. So we went in and we had 20 people sign up, whatever.
That's a really good turnout. Actually.
Yeah. And they had a station and we set it all up, a cutting board, 2 knives, the board itself.
And a surplus of meats and cheese.
All the ingredients just laid out. And then you make your board, you do a little drinks of Ruzzies. Yeah. It's amazing and brilliant, right? Yes. And
this is cutting edge.
And then we actually, this is what I say to the restaurant owners or bar, pub, whatever. We even go into golf courses and things like that. I'm like, listen, our goal, is to get them to give you business, right?
Yeah.
So our part of our job coming in here is that's the reason we bring all this wrapping, right? And we have them wrap it up. We have them do all these things because we want them to take it home, right? Why? Because they've been drinking. We want them ordering. We want them eating. We want them ordering apps while they're doing it. And we don't want them eating this as their dinner, right? Yes, they've already paid for this. They've paid for the class.
Yes.
And then it's beneficial and mutually profitable for both us and the business that we're in.
And what time of night do these classes start?
So we ran one. Our first one we did a 5 o'clock. We did a 6 o'clock start time.
Okay.
But that was 6 o'clock. We ran a happy hour from 5 to 6, with drink specials and apps, right? And some people ordered and whatever. And then class is in session at 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
And by 7 o'clock, this should be wrapped up and you should be 3 drinks in and you should be ready to order.
Love it. Yeah. Love it. Okay, that makes sense. Because I was going to say, if you start them at 9, most of these places stop serving food by then.
Oh, so, no. Yeah. This is before you get to where you're going to cut your finger off and sue me type situation.
Oh, they actually cut the meats and the cheeses and all that?
Oh. Yeah.
For some reason, I don't know why I was thinking they're just all done already. It's chopped up salami.
No, check out our Instagram and the first like pinned video. We did a little like reel about it just to kind of show like what the process is. And that's what the fun part is like they'll look at our board and they're like, how do you make that rose with that meat? We're like, okay, so then we teach them in the class, right? Or how do you cut your cheese like to where it's, like, and then so we do like 4 different cheeses they cut into different types of shapes and whatever. And it's an hour-long class, and it's very fun. It's very social, and so we've also reached out. We've also marketed it as a like team building thing.
Sure.
So like,
yes.
actually, I'm meeting with somebody tomorrow.
Like the meat version of axe throwing.
Yes, I'm meeting with somebody tomorrow in the city, and she's like, I really want to do a class for my clients, and like that is like the perfect.
Yes.
When I envisioned this, that is like, and this is actually a lot sooner than I thought, but that is what I envisioned is like us going into like bigger type events. These one-off like medium large boards are great, and they're great for exposure and they're great for building a client base.
Sure.
But if we're gonna like really like scale and grow and and actually profit, then we gotta look a little bit bigger.
Sure.
So yeah.
Right now is the perfect time. I know it's like literally you can't do it right now this year, but around this time there's a lot of insurance companies that throw big parties and are looking for things like this because I work in insurance, I can tell you. Right around when March Madness kicks off, it's like, oh, you want to do extra on here? You want to do this? You want to do that? And they don't care. They're paying for either way.
Yeah. So that's what we kind of realize is like the corporate budget for these kind of things is there.
Yeah.
And so like if somebody's gonna get it, so
100%. 100%. I don't want to go to another bago or cornhole tournament.
Yeah.
Like I think that this is a great thing, and I mean, not being sexist or anything, I think the women would love that a lot more than like axe throwing.
Yeah.
Like in the corporate places.
And we had a guy in the class and he loved it. I mean, it's not, it's enjoyable. It's not, you're not wearing like an apron and whatever. You're just chilling. You're drinking your White Claw. You're freaking cutting some cheese and having a little sample and,
Do you laugh every time you say the phrase cutting the cheese?
Yeah.
Can you wear an apron?
You can. We don't provide them yet. Maybe that will be like an upcharge. Like if you want a customized apron, it's like $25.
I'm going to get one that says Charcuterie.
Yeah, I love that.
Myself, yeah.
So when we go to places, we like tease some of like like the younger kids or whatever. We're like, how do you say it? And it's so funny. They're always tit, like all these things, charcuterie. Like,
when did you learn that it was called charcuterie?
So I always called it charcuterie.
I didn't know it had a name
until 1 year ago.
1 year ago.
Yeah, and then they're like, no, it's
had a name.
char.
Well, it's French, right? They're fancy. Like La Bouche.
Yeah, but this isn't France.
Chardonnay.
Yeah.
I think it was. I thought it was based off like the concept of Chardonnay.
No. The real charcuterie is not our shit.
Oh no.
Our shit's just like charcuterie.
Red, white, and blue all day.
Yeah.
Oh, the French flag is red, white, and blue. Damn, where was I going then? I knew that these things existed. I've seen them like my whole life, whatever. I didn't know it actually had a name until about 3 years ago.
Right.
Like I was just like,
that's how I was.
Yeah, I was like, it's the tray with the meats and all that stuff.
Exactly.
Like, and they're just like, it's called charcuterie. I'm like, no, it's not. That's like something with like a fondue fountain or something.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, it's called charcuterie.
Yeah.
And now they're all the rage. Yeah. So, do you have any orders this week?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We have orders basically every week now, and then of course, going into Easter weekend, we will be pretty busy.
Forgot about that. Yeah. When people can eat their meats
we were busy.
On Fridays again.
We were very busy during the Super Bowl.
Oh, that makes sense.
We, Eagles. Yeah, we actually did like a segment with Jen Fred on Fox.
I saw that. How was that?
It was awesome.
Is she basically just like a Four Loko as a person?
I think you're saying like crazy or
just a ball of energy.
So she came to my house and we did this shit like we're doing, and it just flowed, and I absolutely like loved her.
Sure.
Like, but I will say this: she is Delco, bleeds Delco. She bleeds green. She bleeds Delco. But see, that's my flavor though. I love that. And so her and I just like really just bing, bing, bong, bong, bong. And then we're like, when are we hanging out? know? So, but yeah, I actually talked to her today. She called me on the phone. We're talking about, some whatever. And I'm like, how are you? And she's like, she's like, good. How are you? And I'm like, I have this feeling, this intuitive feeling that like you never sleep. She's like, yeah, basically I don't.
Yeah, because she just
Like
has so
she's
much
just
energy that time in the morning.
on the
Yeah.
go, and she's doing a million things, and she's really good at her job, and
Yeah.
you know.
I don't know how someone has that much energy, let alone that time of morning.
Yeah.
Because we've seen her, she's done plenty of work with like our sponsors and people we work with, and I'm just like
7 a.m.
yeah. I'm waking up. I'm like, my God, she's like me, 5 hours ago with water, but like she's sober and just going nuts.
Yeah.
I envy that. I wish I had energy in general, let alone that
She's a
early.
ball of energy, and she needs it because she has, she's very well balanced. She has so many things going in her life, work, and her career, and
you stayed in touch
her
with her. That's
family.
pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh my God, we get along so well. We're like freaking crack. It's like, she just calls me today about some random shit. She's, she said her son's, just decided on college, Penn State. She's like, I don't want to be a Penn State mom. I don't even know how to say this.
You could absolutely say that.
Like she's like,
most of our
I want
audience
to be a
didn't go to
Penn
college.
State mom, but like I don't want to wear the Penn State sweater. That's exactly what she said to me, which I found to be hilarious.
It's the most Broomall thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Where does she want her son to go? Temple?
Which she said like he was looking at she said he was like out of state. Like everyone from
Delaware?
Delco, like it's like you're in Delco and you freaking never leave, you people. Like I'm like, go see the world. Like I travel a lot. So like, I mean, so I think she had the mentality of like, get out of here and go spend a few years. Like she said he was looking at like Alabama even. I mean, just like polar opposite.
I would have gone to Alabama if I had the
Florida,
option.
Like California,
I would have gone to California.
And he ended up at Penn State. And she's like, oh my God. She's like, I love the idea of going, being 3 hours away, but I don't.
At least he didn't end up at Delaware County Community College. No offense, greatest sponsor we ever had.
Yeah, I went to community college. Like, it's just like college is so overrated. Not that
it is.
Everyone should.
No, it is. It absolutely is. I wasted years, and tens of thousands of dollars on my life there because it got me an insurance job that I would have had anyway.
Right, exactly. Nobody cares. Like nobody is like, oh my God, you spent 6 years.
And even when I worked for the state and you had to have a college degree, they just asked for a copy of my diploma, which doesn't say what you went for.
Right.
You can just lie and say what you went for.
Of course.
Like I went for botany.
And they'll be like, okay. Yeah. As long as you have the ability and the skill to do the job, like who cares?
Exactly. I never got it. But spreads, meats.
I made you guys a board. Do you want to open it? It's kind of like a present.
Yes. I don't want to like open it wrong though. So this is fancy. Is this stuff you got at Hobby Lobby?
Oh, well, this is just kind of how we always kind of do the same wrap. So these are like little bamboo tongs, and
Oh, you're not just supposed to use your fingernails?
No, a lot of people do. But we obviously have to provide a couple. So we provide a couple tongs, a honey stir.
For the honey that you have.
Honey.
Where do you get the honey from?
We do like big, real
industrial orders.
Yeah, but like honeycomb, raw honeycomb.
Like bees are still stuck in it?
Correct. Oh, wow. Yeah. Like nice. I literally thought one day, can I make honey? And I was like looking it up. I was like, no, I cannot.
You can't make honey.
No, I cannot. I cannot put that thing over my head and like zzz into the bees. But
they're called atheists.
Yeah.
That's my fun fact of the day.
And then like, a couple wooden spoons, a little knife. Okay. Anyway, and then you unwrap it.
It's a functional knife?
Yeah.
Like I couldn't go into a prison or get on a plane with it?
I mean, I don't think there's any injuries, but it'll cut.
I can find a way to take down some.
So you open
a box.
You open it.
Okay.
Like,
oh my! Oh, look at it! Oh, it's Delco.
Look, I made these fresh homemade crostinis too to go with the spreads too. So you got those.
My lord!
So yeah, look what I did for you guys, Delco.
Meat flour, and we're not saying that in a Lou Turks dancer right now.
It's a meat flour and a meat river. We call this a salami river.
Oh, we call it creeks in that here.
Salami crick.
Salami crick, Al.
This is the Delco Crick River.
Look at that. How'd you cut it?
The letters, just like cheese cutter letters.
That exists?
Yeah. What? So we have, look at this fancy grape.
Yeah.
Cool. This little fig spread. That's what I was talking about, how you cut the cheeses in different.
Yeah.
This is really good, sharp cheddar.
Oh,
you always need some chocolate.
Of course.
A few sweets. Of course, crackers. This is the real honeycomb over brie, which you would put the jam on too. You can put the jam on all your like regular cheeses and soft cheeses. You always have fruit.
Okay.
Right?
And to sweeten it up.
Yeah, it's just like the fruit cheese combo. Like this is where we're getting real
the hearty,
bougie.
the salty, the sweet.
Charcuterie is this.
Charcuterie's art.
And this.
You can't spell charcuterie without art, Al.
This is all just like pile it on. See how creative you can get. Like, you know, you got your apricots, your caramelized pecans. Come on. And then, you know, you just go deep. It never ends.
Is that a grape that is cut into a flower?
Yeah.
A lotus grape.
And it's really not even that hard to do that. And so we do that with kiwis, oranges, apples, strawberries. And then
is the flower edible?
Are we on the same like soul path? Okay. Because that's literally what I was just gonna say. Most people don't know, but these are edible flowers.
I was gonna eat it either way.
Yeah. It doesn't I mean it tastes like a flower, but they are edible. They're totally edible.
It's food.
So there you guys
go.
This
is spectacular.
Do you want to sample it now or do you want to like savor it later?
I'll sample it now.
Okay.
Okay.
So take a cracker.
Take a cracker.
Unless you don't want a cracker.
No, I'll do a cracker.
Okay, now like tell me what you want to do here. Do you want the meat with the cheese with the jam, or do you want them just a man's meat and cheese? Like
meat and cheese
with
no jam yet.
No jam. Okay, so take a piece of the river, the crick. Stick
salami
that on
quick.
there.
I'm doing 2.
Yeah, do 2. And then since you're doing kind of like a man sandwich type thing, this is like
that's my nickname.
This is so like what guys do. Yeah. So just you don't need the whole thing because see how it's bigger than the
yeah.
Or you can.
You don't break it in half?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
There you go. Now just push it in.
It's a manwich.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you have some there for later. Okay. Perfect. What are you feeling right now?
Complex feeling of emotions.
Yeah.
It's a very tart and savory cheese.
Mm-hmm. Manchego.
It's a hearty. It's a hearty river meat.
Mm-hmm. Crick meat. Yeah.
Crick. It's a hearty crick meat.
Mm-hmm.
Spicy, but not too spicy. Like not going to give you heartburn.
Yeah, it's like a little flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got to bite the cracker. Subtle.
Yep.
Communion wafer like. But
exactly. That's
imagine if meat was on communion wafers, a lot more people would be on the church.
Yeah, a lot more communions. So yeah, that's a simple. It's a simpleton.
This is amazing.
Did you like it?
You do spectacular. So where can everyone find you? To order great things like this.
Our Instagram is our biggest, kind of
Choice _charcuterie.
Is it underscore?
I think it is.
Yeah, Choice _charcuterie. And we also have a website that nobody goes to, but it's choicecharcuterie.com. And most people just text me and say, what up? I want to order. And then I say, what up? And we have a little chat. And
then Jen hits you up like a ball of energy.
Yeah. I actually enjoy having a conversation with, the customer because I'm like, well, what are you celebrating? And
you want to like personalize the order for them.
And I know it's like we always are doing orders for some sort of celebration. It's not like somebody's like, my grandma died.
You'd be shocked.
Bring me charcuterie.
Wait, really? You've never had a negative event for like these things?
Which like isn't even like that's even a celebration of life.
Yeah, 100%.
But it's not like I got stabbed.
I got fired. Charcuterie it is.
I got stabbed. I'm in jail. Bring me charcuterie.
Like I get stabbed.
Like or whatever. You know what I mean? It's just like it's okay.
That's right. You won't believe what happened. I was outside the 7-Eleven and I'm gonna have to place an order.
Yeah, exactly.
I got shanked hard.
Yeah. Which it could happen. Who knows?
I think it's very realistic that I would get stabbed by the end of the year.
But like, so our motto, our tagline is "Choose to celebrate," and so there and
a lot of C's.
And there's always a reason to celebrate. Any single day, you can find one reason to celebrate, and there are celebrations every day of the week. You'd be surprised.
You know, sometimes I go on Wikipedia and I just look up what famous person's birthday it is or an event to celebrate.
Yeah,
it's a real thing. I actually do that.
Yeah. So
today's Lady Gaga's birthday.
So I would say, Lady Gaga, you want a charcuterie board for your birthday. And then I would say to her, and then I used to I started at Wells Fargo. in finance.
Okay.
Like way back.
When it was like only on the West Coast before it even came here?
Before poker. And one of the things that I was first trained to do was to ask like open-ended questions. So I've taken that over the course of my life, even in other aspects in poker and other things. And I've really taken that in this business as well. So, I would say Lady Gaga, like what kinds of fruits do you love? Or even like what kinds of drinks do you love? Or what kind of wine do you drink? Or what's your favorite color? Just like starting this conversation and kind of just building like a summary in my head. And then we can let our creative juices flow from there. And so, yeah, I love talking to people. And a lot of times we go into the homes and set up while they're kind of setting up.
Yeah, right.
Right. So you kind of like get to know people and that's a really cool aspect of it. As like people are coming in for the party, like Auntie like Jane's coming in and they're like, Esther, this is Aunt Jane. Or, I did a huge spread down the shore.
Oh yeah, down the shore.
Down the shore.
Which shore?
Avalon. It was in Ocean City.
Ocean City, the dry one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta go to Avalon to get the booze down there.
Yeah, so I did a big spread for like a 50th down there. It was a huge one, and she had actually flown in all her friends from around the country for her 50th. So I'm sitting there, and this was a huge setup. So I'm there for probably 2 or 3 hours, right?
Yeah.
And her friends are in the home because they are staying with her, and they're just talking, and I'm talking with them, and I'm getting to know them, and I hear some stories about when they were in high school, college, all these things, and that's what's really like cool and special about all of it, and I always want to feel like I'm putting like my love and my heart and soul into like when you are standing over this, eating your meat sandwiches and celebrating that it means something. And I think that also, brings us repeat customers.
Oh, 100%. So this person flew in people for their 50th birthday.
She did. She flew in like friends friends, who she's been friends with for 40 years. She was turning 50, 30, 40, 50 years, college, high school. It was about 10 different people. And I'm talking, you want to talk about palette, like all across the board types of people. And it was so cool to me. It was so fun and unique. And they were telling stories and catching up. And, I'm an employee there at the time. Right. So I don't really interject that much, but I get to listen and, and then when they talk to me or, include me, then I'm like happy to hear, the stories, and it's always around some sort of celebration. Sure. So it's great,
Al just had his 50th and several members of his family and a member of the show didn't even show up. Wow. So this person in Ocean City is much more well-liked than Al. Al can't go near the beach anymore.
Wow. Sometimes he looks like a beach. People are not flying in for Al. Is that what you're saying?
You don't even like.
People are not walking next door for Al.
Like he's from Clifton, and the event was in Clifton, so they still don't show up.
Oh.
Yeah. What a terrible 50th birthday.
Sorry, Al.
The joke is.
Oh. No, I didn't think. I was not going to say anything, but I was like, you didn't turn 50. Like that's what I was thinking. But, oh, you are 50. Okay, I don't know.
Yeah. She's probably like, he's not 50, he's 60.
Yeah, I don't know. You guys are just liars.
It's true. Okay, so it would be remiss of us if we didn't ask.
Yes.
Who's the biggest dickhead poker player you've encountered?
Dickhead? Oh my God, there's so many right now.
Have you met Phil Helmuth?
Oh yeah, I know Phil.
Is he as much of a jerk as he puts on TV, or is he like playing like a bad guy wrestler?
He's playing a character.
Okay, I figured.
Yeah, I know him personally.
Yeah.
I would say we're acquaintance friends. We've been to some charity events together, and we've done, and he has a huge heart. He's very generous.
I figured he was just playing the bad boy.
But he is a huge baby at the table. It's one of those things where like, you like when you're like a kid and you like fall and like the other team tags you out and you like stomp off.
Yeah,
so pissed.
He's a sore loser.
You're like almost in tears. Like that's how he is.
Okay.
And it's only, and you know what, I have a little bit of that in me because I'm a hardcore competitor.
So professionally,
like,
you should have that in there.
When I'm playing like Pictionary with my daughter, like I want to like stomp her. Like,
it's not a fucking tiger.
I just had all like her friends, her 7th grade friends, and their moms over for a little party, and it was like moms against the daughters, and we wanted to like,
and we wanted to
ruin them, you know, like, and so, but
we want them to need therapy afterwards.
Yeah, and so I have that in me as a competitor, and really in poker, sometimes it's extremely, extremely difficult to control your emotions, and especially with that like kind of like killer eye of the tiger mentality, and he literally cannot help himself. It's like okay, I'll give you one quick story.
Please.
I've played so many times with him. I've played on TV with him.
Yeah.
I've done some live streams. I've played World Series of Poker tournaments with him. You know, we've known each other for a long time. We like each other. It's fine. And then we get on the table and he like treats me like I'm just like dog shit, you know, like how you are so terrible, E-Tay. Like, how can you, and I'm just like, okay, like, it's so like, it's just a in one, out the other.
Yeah.
But so we're playing in a World Series of poker event, and you know, you can always tell when there's like somebody who like doesn't really play poker. Like they just
had enough money to get in the tournament.
Yeah, and they're just playing for fun, and maybe they're checking off a bucket list or
Do you
whatever.
think that pisses off like the ones who've been doing it forever, like Phil Hellmuth?
No, as a professional, you're supposed to actually treat them like very well.
Okay.
Because you're supposed to be like an ambassador of the game. If you want to grow the game, you don't treat people like, especially like if you were to play any professional sport, just say NBA, okay, and you played in an NBA game against players that were 100 times worse than you.
Yeah.
Would you ever complain?
No.
And you were making money from it.
Yeah, no.
Would you ever treat them bad, or would you treat them like, you're my best friend? Please continue to play on this NBA team.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
I'm gonna crush you every time and win the ring or whatever they win. You know what I mean? So as a professional, you can pick out the people that are new and that you know that you need to treat accordingly. But when he gets in the red, like blackout zone, so the kid puts like whatever Phil loses a hand, God forbid, to this kid, and he just like rips him like a new one, right? And the kid is almost like crying, like red face, like embarrassed, because it's like when you're against a giant,
right,
in any industry, and you're just a little fish, and that's how you're being treated, you're just like, right? And this went on for a while, and Phil ended up busting and leaving. And I think everyone at the table was just kind of like relieved, and we were all just kind of like saying sorry on his behalf.
Yeah.
2 minutes later, Phil comes walking back up, pulls out $100 bill, and he like signs. I don't know if he signed his name, but he definitely like apologized in front of the table. You know, and I've seen him do things like that so many times, or where he's freaked out and then like later come back and said, "Okay, I'll put you in the next tournament." Yeah,
I wish I had money like that.
Just in the moment, he cannot help himself. He just that emotion that you see on TV and is real.
Okay,
but he does play it. You know, he knows that the camera's on. His nickname is the Poker Brat. You know, and so he definitely like plays that role, and there's also like money to be made as far as like marketing strategies
100%.
and like things like that. So but at the end of the day, what people like, a lot of people don't in poker especially don't realize is like at the end of the day, there's just the human aspect, right?
Yeah.
Like people go home to their families, and people have kids and mothers and sisters and aunties and wives, and you know, like regular things. Which in poker, it's so weird. It's like poker world, and like nothing, like everything outside of it is like space. You know. But for the most part, most everybody that I know as a professional is relatively normal.
Okay.
Especially the older generation, right? This new generation of kids coming in is like, holy shit.
The hot shot.
But that's with everybody. That's with every industry. Like the new generation coming in, it's like buckle up, you know. But yeah. So that was a long-winded way of saying he is a good guy.
Okay.
And like, yeah.
So who is the biggest jerk?
The biggest jerk. Oh my God. There's a lot of just assholes and I always try to stay out of the drama. Like my whole career, I really like I definitely feel like I could have like a voice and a say in things and people like but on the other side I feel like, I've garnered a little bit of respect from just like not having those opinions all the time and just like kind of keeping like a more balanced side of things. But to me it's like there if you're pulling scummy moves and you're just a scumbag and an asshole at the table, like that those are the assholes.
Those are worse than like someone freaking
And as
out.
far as like me saying like which professional poker player do I know to be the biggest asshole? I really don't have an answer because I don't like know you don't know somebody on like a super personal level, right? You only know like how like when you played with them or what you see on TV or like what people say about them, which is even worse. But if you go onto like Twitter and you like see poker drama, it's like the most toxic, disgusting like thing, and I just want no part of it.
That's why you need to make sure charcuterie.
Yeah, really,
It's
because
the positive outlet.
a lot of players that play only play like poker is pretty much 95% of their life.
Yeah,
which is dangerous. But
who's the biggest jerk in the charcuterie industry?
I don't think there are any.
Yeah,
I think there's a I think there's
a lot of people trying to knock you off that pedestal.
I think there's a major like just unsaid level of respect because we all understand how much work goes into it as the creators, and we know that everybody on the outside doesn't understand. And so I think there's like a mutual like we all kind of just respect each other. We all kind of just stay in our own. I mean, we're new, but we actually when we can't take orders, we definitely we definitely push everybody to the next local small business charcuterie business that we know, right?
Yeah.
So we're not it to me, to us, it's not like, oh no, shh, like don't go over to like Boards for the Soul or whatever. Like we're like, no, like this is another small business owner woman that does the same thing that we do. She's working just as hard as we are. And I'm sorry, we can't do your order this time, but I'm sure that she would be happy to maybe help you and, whatever. And it's just a shared thing. The content is out there for everyone. If you really tried, you could make this. Now, you would never do it. You would never do it, probably. You would just say, E-Tay, make me one.
You're asking me to do something with meats that survived the experience of me doing something with meats.
Yeah, but like if somebody wanted to, it's not like it's like a secret like recipe. Like all the
I'm the Phil
information
Hellmuth
is
of
out there.
foods. I throw tantrums if I don't get them.
Yeah, I love food. But
all right, so once again, where can they find you?
ChoiceCharcuterie.com. Choice_charcuterie on Instagram.
It is underscore. I just
Yeah, that's our kind of best. We're just always putting new content on there for you to see, and we do a lot of kind of like simple and quick tutorials too.
Sure.
So
and that's the best place to reach out if a business wants to set up one of these classes.
Painting
with a shirt meets with a twist.
Meets with a twist.
Yeah.
Yep. And and then they can just always text me directly or call me directly
Absolutely.
on my number.
And you'll relay this number once you reach out.
Yeah, you guys can
give out your number directly.
My number is free for everyone, even the bill collectors.
Okay.
So
is the IRS really strict on poker players because of the winnings and all
that? If you handle your business correctly,
Okay.
no, they leave you alone. But I basically just pay I just make sure that I'm paying like the same tax bracket like every year, no matter kind of how I do. But
Gotcha.
as long as you're on, like just handling your business every year, it's like where you are proven to have won a big tournament or made a lot of money and you pay no taxes. Like that's going to be a problem.
Understood.
Yeah. So, but they don't care. Like they're not really targeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Anything else before we sign off on this beautiful Tuesday?
So you have any questions? I feel like I've been babbling.
No, you did great.
Have you been talking?
No, you've done great because I only say stupid things, like exclusively dumb things.
No.
You have taught us so much about meats, charity, Broomall, Poker, Who's a
Delco.
Jerk, Delco, Oregon, Words. The fact that no one likes Al because no one showed up to his 50th, even though people who flew in people from all over the world.
Right.
You've taught us a lot.
Yeah, they didn't even ride their bike over to Al's birthday. That's really pathetic.
It's pathetic. What's sad?
Maybe 50... for your 60th.
So yeah, you think he's gonna make another 10 years?
It's like my high school all over again. Pathetic. That was my nickname in high school.
Mine was actually Meat Lord. A long time coming. All right. This is one of my favorite interviews. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. We'll have to do it again sometime.
Until then, stay Delco.